Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a Ko-Fi, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and X. Now we are joined by the Adam Meakin, Refracted Curvature, Neil, and a whole bunch of people in Discord. So welcome, one and all.
Good morning, folks.
How are you?
I'm good.
Hey, good afternoon.
Very good. We've got a couple of clips to cover, which is a bit disappointing. So I've known the gentleman that we're going to be covering for probably the best part of about 8 years, maybe a bit less. And over that time, I've built what I consider to be a really decent relationship with the person, only for it to fall apart based on a disagreement of a use of a magic trick we were all deceived into believing we were on a globe with. That is to say, the whole body of science proves we're on a sphere. They cried in 2015 through 2018, right up until QE got a bit of leverage and started to actually educate people in that which they were educated anyway in the 5th grade, that science proves things. And for that very reason, and that understanding that we all took on in 5th grade, or whatever the equivalent in your country, was to say that once appreciating that science proves things, hearing that word after you've left school and forgotten all about the lessons, conjures the image that something that is suggested to have science attached is proven. And unfortunately for us, there is a side of Flat Earth that utilises this magic trick. That is to say, they will punt and promote the idea that they have scientific validity with the word of science, with the word of experiment, when they don't have it. The same exact trick was used to convince us we're on a sphere through the hijacking of an empirical method known as the scientific method that does prove things, by ascribing it to things that have not been through the method, ergo pseudoscience. So pseudoscience claims from flat earthers is the reason that we have unfortunately parted ways with many of our compadres over the years, fighting the good fight and convincing the general public. Now, as it transpires, those people are far better at marketing within YouTube than I am, have grown much bigger than I. Nevertheless, we remain on the cutting edge of non-bullshittery, proven facts, measurements, and scientific evidence. We are at the cutting edge of the standards when it comes to proving the Earth is demonstrably flat, and we will continue to do so. In this instance, we're not here to necessarily bitch about the personal relationships and interpersonal fallings apart between these groups, but moreover discuss the actual words being said on a wider reaching audience than our own in a discussion that has been had between, perhaps you'd like to introduce this Dave Weiss video, Mush, as it's you that suggested it.
Yes, sir. Sorry. It's a whole interview. It's an hour-long interview, but those are just 2 short clips.
Yeah, I need you to give more data to the audience about who it is, what it is, where it is.
I recommend everybody watch the interview. The interview was with Peggy Hall. She, also known as the Healthy American. She was instrumental in helping people throughout the whole corona hoax, whatever you want to call it. With the masks and everything. She's a biblical perspective flat earther. Her husband is a pastor. And don't say a single bad word about Peggy Hall, dude. Anyone. Just want to say that.
I can't promise that. Although it's only 10 seconds, so it's unlikely they'll emerge from her. But if we were doing the video, I wouldn't promise that, I'm afraid. Sorry.
All right.
Don't be resigned to I like her. It's like, she spews up some feast and nonsense mush. She's going to get an earful, let's be honest.
I see what you're saying, bro, but like again, she doesn't dive too deep into the FE topic, right? But she's been a flat earther that I've known for years. She always mentions when she mentions Earth, she says, "Oh, what in the non-spinning world is going on?" So she, like I said again, she won't talk about Earth measuring flat or any of the science versus pseudoscience things. She's a biblical perspective only. And in this interview, she's talking to Dave Weiss, who also in 1 hour pretty much doesn't mention any facts about flat Earth. It was just nonsense about why would they lie, how it can't be a globe, NASA, stuff like that. And he also brings up the toroidal field, how it could be that, which is nonsense. And Dave Weiss, you'll see in the clips. He also says he loves space. It's his favorite thing. And space makes more sense on flat Earth. So that's what we're going to be reviewing today, those two clips.
Okay, perfect. We'll play the first, discuss it, play the second, and then I'll clip through to the actual video to get the link. And then we'll invite you to go to Peggy Hall's video. Is that, I'm saying her name correct?
Yes, everybody subscribe to Peggy Hall, The Healthy American.
Perfect. So we'll give you a link to her shortly, but these are only very short clips, so we'll just get into them now.
Is empowering. Maybe it's something like this. We live on this plane inside this toroidal field, and all of the stars are spinning around. It's responsible for the motion of the sun. Is empowering. Maybe it's something like this. We live on this plane inside this toroidal field, and all of the stars are spinning around. It's responsible for the motion of.
Maybe, but given that we're treated as though we're complete idiots, would it not be better to just stick to what we can prove demonstrably in terms of the function of Earth, rather than speculating about toroidal fields with no validity to them? I mean, I can see why you've picked this clip, because it's a pure speculation on his part, starting with the word maybe. You're like, I don't know, that's not what we do here. We wouldn't really want to speculate because it makes us look stupid. But on the other hand, what's wrong with that? Is he not allowed to speculate much? Is it not down to her discernment to figure out whether or not maybe it's a toroidal field?
He can speculate, man, but to speculate about that before mentioning all the facts that you can mention about FE, it's kind of shady to me, man, especially for someone who's been into this topic for all these years. You know what I mean?
Exactly, Mush.
Speculate.
You stick to the things that you know, and then you can speculate all you want. Once you get it out there, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, I love it because you're banging a drum that I've skinned. So what you're saying is move forward on the front foot, prove Earth is flat first. All of the things I've been saying in 2024. Yeah. I mean, great, because that is exactly the rhetoric I want going forward. I just never knew it would be so effective from you guys who watch and follow the show and take part in the show. But yeah, I mean, absolutely. I just don't think it's going to happen that quickly. But I would echo your sentiment, as it's my sentiment, which is to say, yeah, the first thing you need to do if you're in an interview and you're a flat earther is prove Earth's flat. That's the first priority. Speculation can come later, fine. Right, let's listen to this next clip.
And then all of my favorite movies, Star Trek and Star Wars, and I love space, right? But to me, I think space makes more sense on a flat Earth. But that's the whole thing. Let's go into your thought. And then
Okay, so space, as this individual may or may not appreciate in the standard rhetoric, is a sky vacuum, an area of volume that gas isn't filling in line with entropic law. So to suggest that space, what volumes that gases aren't filling, works better on a flat Earth, number one, is pretty absurd, and number two, sort of coddles the notion that the person's going to find it difficult to relinquish space. So he's kind of putting his arm around her and going, space is cool. I like space. And it works on a flat Earth. No, it doesn't. Space is a second law of thermodynamics violation. Gas would be filling it. If there was a space for gas to fill, then gas would fill it. Outer space is fake. You can't have gas pressure that we're all breathing without containment. And space is alluded to be the area above the already gradiated gas pressure that's not in containment. So no, it doesn't work at all. Doesn't matter what model, I say model for him and us, because it's a model that he's going to reify into existence with the sun and moon above it. He's got it in his app. So his model won't work with the second law of thermodynamics violation any more than the globe will. But there we go. I mean, it's not necessarily as big a deal as I thought that was going to be. Shout out to Price of Adam. Level is flat and gas pressure required containment. Yeah, couldn't agree more.
Nathan, after all of these years, how can you turn around and say something like that? It's a total contradiction of what we talk about here. Total opposite of what we talk about here.
Yeah, how is it even possible that he doesn't know that it's a violation of the natural law? How is that possible, man? After all these years, all these interviews, all this FE talk, how does Dave Weiss not know about the law of nature, that space is not possible? Outer space, I'm sorry. The vacuum of outer space. How is that even possible, man?
I don't know. I mean,
I don't know either.
this is his rhetoric. This is Dave's way of going about things. It isn't the way we'd go about it. Okay, so The Healthy American is the name of the channel. I've just stuck a link in the live stream chat. So if you like to let The Healthy American, it's Peggy, know, at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me. Hopefully she can check out our comments, although we haven't heard her say a single word. Quite literally.
Be nice to Peggy Ho, guys. Don't say a single mean word.
That's
Say
one
it
way
again. She's my...
to make sure we're not mean to her.
You're tempting me.
Nah, Neil, you should listen to her, man. Like, maybe not this video, but like she's awesome, man. She covers a lot of topics, and you'll like her. She's a biblical flat earther, if I can say it like that.
I'm sure she's lovely.
So she needs more educating.
Let's just clear a few things up. Right. First and foremost, everyone is entitled to their beliefs. Whether they understand their beliefs or not is a different issue, but everybody's entitled to their beliefs. Now, we don't work here on Flat Earth Debate with beliefs. We're not interested in beliefs. It's not what we try and educate people in. And in terms of the subject genre, that's Flat Earth, there are caveats attached to whether or not it's a good idea to express your beliefs in this category. Now, is it a good idea to express your beliefs in this category? Absolutely not. You're already considered stupid the moment you open your mouth if you declare yourself to be a flat earther by stereotype. So you're already up against the wall. So what do you want to do? Push yourself further against it by speculating about something you can never prove? No. Start on the front foot. Get yourself away from that wall by proving things immediately. Demonstrably showing how Earth is flat so that your opponent has nothing to... They can argue with you, but they'll be arguing in the face of facts, trying to turn your facts into your opinion so they can argue against your opinion about how celestial navigation works when you've given them the demonstrable facts of how it works, how it's used, how it's a process for navigating. Not your claim, but a fact. If you can do that, you're on the front foot because you've already proven your point. Then whether or not they stereotype you as idiotic is irrelevant. Now, if you then choose to speculate, everyone's entitled to their beliefs. Everyone's entitled to speculate. Obviously, I'm not a dictator. I can't stop anybody doing anything. But I can strongly suggest, given my experience in this subject, that it's not a good idea to move forward out of the gate with speculation. Far better to disprove the stereotype that people are assuming by giving them a few facts to back your point and position. Go ahead.
I was about to say the thing I found most objectionable was to put flat Earth in a what if statement, because it's a what is statement, not a what if. The moment you put it in a what if, you've invited controversy and debate. You've invited it at that point, and it's not debatable. It just is.
So what you're saying is when Dave says maybe it's a toroidal flat plane, he's paraphrased in his belief about what it could be with toroidation of the etherized sensation and interjected something that's just fact with his speculation. Maybe it's a toroidal field. Yeah, that's the maybe. But flat bit is provable and measurable and usable and turned into a globe eventually, the measurements. So, no, it's not part of your maybe statement.
It shouldn't be included in the what if statement. That was my biggest problem with it, because it's not a what if.
Fair enough. So in the pre-show we were discussing, obviously, these clips that we've just played. And the general notion was that, Dave should be doing something different. It's like, well, in order for you to influence Dave into doing something different, you've got to make friends with Dave and influence him into doing something different and give him a motivation to do so. Now, my attempts to do so have failed. So everybody in the pre-show is moaning about Dave, and I'm like, well, who's got the onus here if you've got a rhetoric that you want to push forward in terms of how we prove Earth flat? That is a rhetorical device, by the way. I'm not suggesting to demean it when I say rhetoric. What I'm pushing for is a rhetoric of proof. Well, I can only show people how that's effective by demonstration, suggest that they take in the information by education, but if I'm going to suggest to someone else, I've got to be in their social circle, I've got to have some means of communication with them, I've got to have their trust. Now, Dave's not watching this show and taking on tips. If he was, he'd be utilising the tips, wouldn't he, Neil? Now you say, well, he's watching. What, when we put his name in the title? Maybe he'll glance at the bits that involve him and then tune out for the rest of the show. Doesn't necessarily mean he's going to take on what we know is a outstanding argument. But it's never been the case throughout the entire history of this debate show. The arguments that are the best are the ones that stick around for the longest, and they slowly permeate their way into the community.
Well, I do know that more than likely it would be a hearsay situation with Dave, and that someone would say they're talking about you on Flat Earth, right? On Flat Earth debate. And then that would be so all the information he would get about us would be secondhand. So I don't think he is listening.
There is a third option that we didn't discuss in the pre-show.
Hold on. They got a designated listener, trust me.
The third option, rather than me taking the onus of blame or putting the onus on Dave, is to suggest that the onus is on everyone to do a better job and be more influential. Or, by everyone, in the scenario that we've actually witnessed, the onus would be on the interviewer by that standard. It's up to her to be of a high level of discernment when it comes to information passed on from anybody, not just Dave Weiss. Therefore, hearing the maybe is the only important bit in the small section that we've critiqued. Now, if her discernment is high enough, and you spoke highly of her, Mush, because you like her, fine.
It is. She's all about that.
Go on.
No, she's all about that. Her discernment is very high, man.
Right, so there's no reason to not have the onus fall on her door to a certain extent. She's taking in information, and it is down to the person listening to that information to not just accept it at face value, especially when it comes with clear caveats from Dave. Dave's put his caveats in. Maybe it's a toroidal flat field. We can object. No, it is a flat plane. Toroidal, you could speculate maybe. I have no idea. Prove it. You can't? Well, then why are you babbling about it? Would be our attitude. But that's up to her. She can hear the maybe and then go, oh, well, that means it is a toroidal field. I'll look into that more because that maybe is worth chasing down. Like a lot of the audiences that watch Witsit and Jaren and all the other people who punt ether, they've found the fantasy that they want to chase down, and they've carried on. They've persisted in their chasing it down. Can I stop them chasing their dream? Is that a bonfire we are here to piss on? I just want people to prove it's flat, right? That's it. If they want to speculate about ether, to be perfectly honest, that's up to the audience to discern if it's useful information or not. If they like the fantasy and want to buy into it, then that's no better or worse than buying into Bigfoot or aliens, as far as I am concerned. Aliens from the sky, that is. So, more power to you. But if you've got Flat Earth in your title and tags, then really you should be proving this stuff by now, 10 years into the subject matter. That's really our message. And it's not like we haven't had plenty of proofs. It's not like there isn't plenty of proofs that have existed before we started going through things like Black Swan and celestial navigation, sextants, elevation angle measurements, mapping. But, all the things that we have been going through are surplus. There's plenty of flat Earth proofs. It's always been pointed out to me when I've been critical and gone, this isn't the silver bullet. But it's still a flat Earth proof. Yeah, it is. I just don't like it. It's just not quite good enough for me. I want it to be a super shiny bullet that has no flaws. Well, we've got a few of them now too. But it doesn't mean to say that in the last 10 years, all of the people who've been in this arena couldn't be and shouldn't have been moving forward on the front foot, declaring with proof that Earth is flat straight out of the gate. The standard and the evidence that we've now got in 2024 may be higher, and you could critique them and go, well, why aren't you using this? It's the best standard there is. Yeah, what? Just do anything. Just open up with proving Earth is flat. I don't care what you use to do it, as long as it is actually proof. We know it's flat now, right? We've proven it to ourselves. We've shown the measurements, and we've shown how the globe came from those measurements. So we've got the gold standard. Okay. Doesn't mean everyone knows it. But the people who I've maybe falsely stereotyped as flat earth believers, maybe if push came to shove and you were to actually challenge them, they'd come up with something completely random that was discussed in 2017 that you heard of, knew was good flat earth proof, but then forgot about. And that's their standard. You'd be like, great, just open with that. As long as the person listening to you or interviewing you here's your proof first, that's the most important thing, isn't it? In my opinion. I'm asking like it's a question. I know it's the case. Nobody's reacting. It's just assertiveness. If you're constantly being forced onto the back foot by an opponent, then at some point you've got to step forward and bloody the nose. You've just got to do that at some point. Otherwise, you will constantly be pushed back. So for me, there's a subtle change from talking about how the globe fails to talking about how the flat Earth's measured. First. That subtle change could change many, many people, in my humble opinion.
I think it's a fear because if you start demonstrating that Earth is flat, a lot of people feel the argument's over, their channel's going to die, the show's over. No, it's just beginning.
Well, the thing is, the measurements of the flat plane are part of the heliocentric rhetoric too. That is not in contention that you measure Earth flat. That's why it's such a strong statement, because they use those measurements too. I don't know if people realize that or.
Got the sounds of agreement from Discord. Go ahead.
Sorry, it was me, Nathan. Yeah, basically, John, you're right. Yeah, it's just our flat is flat, their flat is curved.
Yeah, our flat is flat, and there's no alterations or explanations or apologies required. Their flat is flat until it's representative of the surface level that they haven't measured, represented in maths as curved. Then they have to describe flat as not flat, even though it violates the geometry that they've used to make the assertion that flat isn't flat. They needed flat to be flat to make that assertion, as absurd as that sounds. But we just take it as flat, measure it flat, and then deal with it how the mapping works, which is all flat. No apologies needed. No explanations needed. It's a prerequisite. It's a what is question answered by demonstrable measurement. Earth is flat. That's how we deal with it. That's potent. That's got some sting to it, right? When you put it to somebody in the first instance, that's what we should be doing. But we've only been saying it for, what, 3 or 4 months?
The problem with that is instead of us being heard, they'd rather people like Omnivore be heard. Well, let them finish. Let them finish their statement when their statement is a total violation of natural law. But they don't want to hear the truth that we bring.
Okay, well, we need to alter that, don't we? That's something that we can remedy. The way to do it isn't by calling them dicks. Is, you know, right? Yeah, for whatever reason, that Jeremy guy, he's hostile, right? I don't know why, and I frankly don't care. But if I want him to be on my side, I need to care and ascertain why that is. And interpersonal relationships, when you're just trying to get someone to argue the point correctly or in a winning manner, sometimes you have to enter into that garbage. I mean, that very useful and important part of communication and, you know, interpersonal relationship building. That's what we need to do. When we're there, we can't be mislabeling their show. we can't be calling them dicks when they say, well, we've got rules. If they want to lean on their rules to take control to a certain extent or retain the power they have when we're not there, because we are taking that away from them. We're saying, no, we're here and we're in charge for a bit. Well, that's bullshit on our part, and it's going to put a few people's noses out. Well, you've got to then massage those noses back into joint, Neil, rather than just saying, well, you're a bitch.
I'm glad you corrected it. Nobody called them dicks. We called them bitches. But they were acting like that, Nathan. Come on, listen to the show. I listened to it again last night. They were just so concerned about a word you said, nothing at all about what you were bringing forth. Oh, you said coward. That's a word. Please don't do that. Oh, my goodness.
Okay, so read between the lines. They're looking for an excuse to not take on board the information and to attack me as the individual. Yeah, we can pick that out just by watching yesterday's show. So for those of you in the live audience, if you're not already subscribed or a member of this channel, right? If you're not a member and you're not subscribed to the second channel, then you won't be aware that yesterday the Earth Awakenings extended show came out on the second channel. Now, as I say, members will already have watched all of this, but you get to see the full shebango before and after the live show takes place, and the frustration from my perspective, because I did actually watch it along with the premiering audience last night. My frustration when I'm just trying to get a point through 6 times, no moderation whatsoever, and then the moment I call somebody a scumbag liar because they've lied, everything stops. I get told off for a prolonged period. The track is completely, off in the distance. The train's on its side. You're like, oh, what? But fine. If that's what we have to endure, and we have to figure out why we need them on our side so that they can benefit from the information and punt it on to the next man. They're not asking how this benefits us. How does it benefit us? Well, to change the tides of the general populace. Each one of the people in that server represent a huge number of other people with a similar attitude. So if we can change their attitude and then get back onto the actual focus of just getting them to prove Earth's flat first, obviously we've been too ambitious. Just going into the server and saying, we've got a better argument or a better way of positioning this flat Earth stuff. Just prove it's flat first. And they've gone, you call people scumbags. You go, okay, there's obviously a bit of a disconnect here. We need to get to the bottom of that first then, don't we? And once we have, we can then start pushing forward with better arguments that don't make every flat earther stereotypically conform to the idea that people have about them. Instead, people go, what? My globe came from these flat earth measurements. How can that possibly be? Rather than you're an idiot.
The proper way to do it is you let the show go on if you're absorbing the information. And then afterwards, they can get in touch with you and say, Nathan, your arguments are spot on, but you just can't call anybody names. No, they chose right in the middle of it to interfere and say, stop name calling. And it's over moderation over there. So that's what you got to get. You got to deal with that first.
Well, we're talking about the same thing. Something that's an aside from, although it's disappeared now, I'll carry on anyway. Something that's an aside from the actual purpose in being there. Well, now we've been there a couple of times. We've made our motivation absolutely and acutely, abundantly clear to them. We're here because we want you to strengthen your argument by moving forward on the front foot and telling people how Earth is measured, how it's dealt with, and how the globe, if you then enter, after the fact, into a debate about the globe, how the globe measurements came from those on the front foot pointed out to everyone in the first breath, flat Earth measurements. If you can do that, start with that, you'll always be on the front foot and always be on the offensive. They'll be on the back foot defending their globe that came from those measurements, rather than you up against the wall as a stereotypical idiot flat earther the moment you enter into any discussion ever. Now, I want that to stop. The greater good will benefit me in the long run, 20 years from now. But for the time being, you've got to start somewhere. Who's doing that?
I'll give you a perfect example.
Absolutely.
Hold on, Neil. Go ahead, George.
No, I'm just saying they are on the agree-disagree business, I would say, because they don't like the devastating argument that it is to prove or demonstrate how the world is measured flat by navigators. Every single day they will use the sextant, they are measuring a flat Earth. But they're not in that category, though. They're still accepting arguments from ignorance and fallacious arguments and so on. Just keeping the conversation going. That's my view.
What I was going to say was, if you listen to that show, when you were dealing with Omnivore, this guy Jeremy comes in and says, well, some derogatory statement like, what is this, how long you been in a debate? What is this, your first debate? And I was so glad when Adam finally broke it down and got to it and said, no, it's not our first debate. That's why we do not let them rinse and repeat, and we stop them dead in their tracks, because we've been in it for 10 years.
Yeah, but we're not trying to
Exactly.
preach them about how wonderful we are. So again, as much as it's great to get them understanding that their over moderation or their detraction from the actual point or their focus on their rules isn't important to us, for whatever reason it is important to them. So you have to respect that. Maybe ask them why it's so important to them. Maybe listen and empathize and agree with the points that you do agree with. Maybe enter into discussion about that. Once that's out of the way, they will be more empathetic to us when we're trying to communicate these outstanding argumentation points to them, rather than being defensive. If they're just listening for the point that I make a perceived insult against a scumbag liar for being a scumbag liar, then they're not listening to the point, are they? Therefore, first 2, 3, 4 attempts have been ineffective. And I said in the pre-show, sometimes it will take 10 attempts to actually get the message through to somebody to the point where they can convey it to another person. Shout out to Shatner's Bassoon. I'm back, listening to the best show on YouTube, Heart. Illuminati sign. Thank you for the super chat.
Yeah, but Brian always says it. They're listening to ballers. How do you think these channels that they got were developed? They listen to ballers, say, Nathan don't let us talk. He calls us names. He's mean. He doesn't let us get our arguments out. So now they put a little thing together, and they're going to do everything the ballers is saying we don't let them do. It's very simple. They're listening to ballers instead of listening to the arguments.
You assume. Have you got any evidence whatsoever or beyond this baseless assertion?
I know for a fact.
That's still a baseless assertion.
Yeah, it's been mentioned before. I'm going to emphasize it again. It's interesting that flat earthers need to teach flat earthers how the earth is measured flat.
That's the
Shocking.
situation, though. That is the situation, and we're taking it upon ourselves to do so. Some would call us arrogant.
Hello, Nathan.
Hello, whoever that is. Who is that? Anyway, we're taking
That
it
was
upon
the watcher.
to watcher. Hello. As I say, we're taking this upon ourselves, and some would consider us arrogant for doing so. We're going out on our front foot telling them that they're not doing it correctly by perception. I'm not saying we are doing that, but that's how it could be perceived. Well, people won't like that. No, I know what I'm doing. I've been here 10 years too. Well, my way's better. Well, says you. And suddenly you're into a defensive position with a flat earther that you're only trying to educate. You're only trying to assist. But they don't see it that way. Fine. That's obstacles that we have to reach and breach when we come across them. That's just how the world works. That's just what you got to do.
Oh, my mic is better.
This is
Mic
one
check.
of
Hold on, everyone on G+. Go ahead, watcher.
Hey, how's it going this morning?
Very well.
I noticed you do a lot of different shows in different places. Would you be willing to go to other places and do shows?
Depends on the show. Depends what's in it for me.
All right, I'll send you a DM.
What's the show? What's in it for me?
This voice sounds familiar.
I don't want to mention the name of the show on here. That's not cool.
This
Isn't it
voice
paid?
sounds
Sounds like
familiar. guys.
Robnoxious to me.
Am I getting
Yep.
paid?
You have to ask him.
What do you mean? Why would I approach somebody you've recommended to ask them if they're going to give me money? What are you talking about?
So I'm trying to get some fun stuff to go on so we can all get together and, do our thing.
But
Can you please tell us who you are first?
You're trying to organise my diary for me.
No, I'm just asking you. I'm asking you a favor. Could you stop by and give us some help?
Wait, do you own the place this venue? Is it your channel?
No, I don't.
Why are you offering?
I'm the promoter. I try to promote different servers that have different interactions
you are
with
a
each other.
contracted promoter for the YouTube channel that you're suggesting. Therefore, you have a say in it.
No, only no.
Sorry,
he doesn't even know.
So no. So this is a glurf flyer. Just a lying glurf who's come here to bullshit about some authority he has over somebody else's channel he's got no connection with and is not a manager for. You're not a promoter. You're not a promoter for anybody. If somebody wants to get in touch with me and offer me something, they can, and they will. They don't need some lying glurf to do it on their behalf, probably without their say-so or no.
Yeah, it just seems like sometimes people need to be helped a little bit, you know? So I'm just trying to put some shit together. I see that you go on Politics server and Earth Awakenings and all the other ones. I was just seeing maybe you could stop by this one, say hi.
Yeah, and you were there too, right? I remember your voice. So tell us who you are.
Yeah, it's
I'm everywhere.
Robnoxious. We know who it is.
Oh, so you're becoming a flat earther, huh, Robnoxious? That's what you said in the text chat.
Yeah, I'm trying, man. The last time I talked to Nathan, what he said made a lot of sense. You know?
So you know the Earth is measured flat. You know that, right? You want to tell us about it?
That's what I was looking at. And all I'm gonna say is the rock may have been moved.
I couldn't give a crap about your position on this subject as an individual. Let's make that absolutely and abundantly clear. Suddenly, because you've become a convert to flat Earth, does not change what you are, who you are, your general demeanour or attitude, or whether I give a toss about where you think I should be at any given time. Do you understand that?
Yeah, I agree. Yes.
Right, so don't try and organise my diary on behalf of other YouTubers. Build up your own bloody YouTube channel. Invite me on your channel.
Would you come on my channel if I invited you?
Have you got a channel? Or is this some hypothetical bullshit
actually.
that I need to consider that isn't real? No, I don't involve myself in la la land fantasies about YouTubers that haven't made it yet. That'd be you.
Yeah, we all start somewhere, man.
Yeah.
I didn't come here for hostility, Nathan. Like I said, usually I try to argue with you, but like I said,
came to organise my diary.
No, I'm not. I'm asking you a simple question, man to man. And I'm not trying to organize nothing.
You've got nothing to. Do you not understand, Rob? You've got nothing to offer. You have nothing to offer me. Nothing.
I understand. I know.
Right. So what you're doing is taking someone else's valor and work and effort and suggesting that you have that to offer me. No, you don't.
No.
Yeah. You said you were a promoter. Yeah, just lied, made up some crap about a position you don't hold on behalf of someone else who's put the work in to build up a reputation or a server or wherever it is you're stealing from.
Oh, no. It's a part of a community that I'm a part of, and it's kind of like a surprise, you know. They don't really know that I try to get other people to come over here and have a conversation with them.
So you have say then? So you're a moderator in this place?
No, but I'm not a moderator. Like I said...
So you have no say whatsoever in this community you're a part of. You're like a viewer above their station thinking that because they watch my show, they somehow have the power or influence to tell me what to do or where to be.
No, I'm not trying to do that, Nathan. Like I said, I'm kind of an enigma. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm just an enigma, man. Like there's no ulterior motive behind this. It's just a simple. I'm just simply asking you, Nathan Oakley, as one of the the main guys, have some fun. You know, I see that you have fun other places.
I've just explained this twice. Why are you rinsing and repeating? Do you not understand? You don't have that to offer. What part of that don't you understand?
No, I agree. I'm asking you.
You're asking and suggesting that I do something with someone else that isn't you. Yeah, don't ask. This is irrelevant. You don't have the authority to ask about someone else's fun I'll be having with them. No, don't do that.
Okay. Yeah. I agree. I'm just, like I said, that's why I tried that. That's why
I got all that. Thanks. Yeah, thanks. Thanks, but no thanks. You had nothing to offer. Literally, this was a pointless conversation. I got nothing out of it. Zero. Because you had nothing to offer me.
Come meet us in the back, and there's like 40 people waiting there for you. But it doesn't matter. We would dismantle them anyway. Nice try, Rob.
100 people watching, though. Woohoo! Please share the show if you've not done so already. Good to have you all. I'm sure you've only arrived because a lot of people are regulars and share the show. So thank you if you have done.
Well, I would like to join the Nathan Oakley and QE army. Whatever I can do to help, I would like to do.
Give me
I
money.
think you guys are dead on.
You can help by giving me money. I'm really poor.
How much money? How much money is a normal thing?
Send super chats. Say, I joined the Nathan Oakley and QE army with a $5 super chat, and everyone will put a thumbs up on it. That's how it works here.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. Yeah, like I said, I'm not able to do this right now. I'm kind of busy right now, but I will get to it, and I'll send you lots of money. And I look forward to being on here.
For your information, I am
yeah.
super fickle. Soon as you give me money, my attitude changes greatly. So fickle.
All right,
Rob,
and
we don't
like I
want
said,
you to join our army. Rob, we don't want you to join our army. We want you to use discernment. You're listening to claims. That's all we want. We don't want you to join an army or join a cult. Or you don't even have to like us.
No, I understand. That's fair enough. See, I just like the guy. I like the idea of the whole debate thing. I like watching the guys talk about, have intellectual discussions about this stuff. That's what I enjoy, and that's what I like to do. So I try to bring two different people together. I know Nathan Oakley's never going to talk to Jem on his own, so I'm going to be the bridge between them.
To who? Did you say
isn't.
Jem?
I've already overcome this. He's just delusional.
I love you, Nathan
Please,
Oakley.
Rob. We don't need no help, Rob. You need help.
I know you don't. I'm not insinuating you guys do need help. I'm not trying to say that you guys need anything from me. You don't. You don't need me at all. And I'm nothing to you guys. I understand that. But I'm asking you, I had the balls to get on here. I had the balls to trace you down. I had the balls to bother you guys about this because I am dedicated. I want you guys to see that. Can't you guys appreciate that? At least from my perspective, that hey, this motherfucker is dedicated.
Don't
He might be a thorn in my.
Why are you swearing then?
I'm sorry. I apologize. I swear a lot. I'm sorry. You have to at least respect the hustle. I mean, come on.
No, I don't get what. I sound cold when I have to disclaim these things, but there's no obligation to any of you. Even the people on G Plus panel have to hear this rhetoric from me. Yeah? No, if you don't turn up, I'm not going to cry. If you do turn up, you're not going to get paid. So what do you want? I don't know.
I stay for the truth, man.
Your change of heart, if you have genuinely had one, Robnoxious, is your own, right?
You're responsible for it, though.
Okay, that may be. But that doesn't mean I take ownership of your revelation. The fact that you received the information from me and reached a point of discernment because of me doesn't mean that I now take ownership of your new situation and your new paradigm. I am not your guru.
You do bear some responsibility, Nathan.
No, I don't. Responsibility for what? Realizing that Earth's measured flat? Where is there any responsibility in that?
You're the one I heard it from, and you're the one that made me go look it up, and you're the one that made me my mind change. So how are you not involved in my life now?
Opening your eyes to the truth, that bears no responsibility. The liars who lied to you have a responsibility and a burden thereafter, not me.
I'm going to end this. Rob, why are you being so disingenuous?
I don't know that he is.
Why are you being so disingenuous?
I don't know that he is. He's defensive because he's dealing with us, and we've dealt with him for a prolonged period. That's not going to change immediately.
I'm not being disingenuous, QE.
That was Neil.
That's all I can say. I'm not being. Oh, that was Neil. I'm sorry. I'm not being disingenuous, man. I'm telling you guys what's going on.
That's a compliment.
Sorry.
Also a massive insult to QE.
There is a responsibility. There is a responsibility, but it's not Nathan's responsibility. I face the same thing.
He's got to help me, man.
Listen. It was upon me, upon realization of what is, that I shared and stood up for the truth. So now the onus isn't on Nathan, it's on you, not on him. You understand that?
Yeah, let me hear you go to Gem Pandas and defend Flat Earth. Or not even defend, prove Flat Earth. Tell him Earth is measured flat. Let me hear you on Gems.
Well, when I get off of here, I will go over there and I will let him have it.
But John used a word. He said, what we're trying to impart on people is good discernment, the ability to judge well.
All right, I don't want to take up more time. Can I just ask one favor from whoever owns the Discord here? Can you unban Robnoxious, my main account, so I don't have to come in here with a stupid fucking sock?
If you stop swearing on a live show that's going out that literally affects
I know.
my revenue, you might not get banned.
Yeah, I know. I keep forgetting. I'm sorry, man.
You see? You see what I'm saying? Everybody knows don't swear, but you come right in and drop 2 F-bombs.
Yeah.
I think there's a little hidden motive.
But I don't come here. I haven't been here in a long time. I forgot about that rule on certain live streams. You can't swear. I'm a foul mouthed person. I apologize, and I will do better. I will not do it at all. How's that?
Apology accepted. No worries. You're not Australian, are you?
No, I'm American. I don't want to take
apology
any more
accepted.
time. I just want to ask for, can I get please be on banned on the main account, and then I'll be watching on the thing, and I hopefully look forward to hearing some more about the whole thing about measuring the Earth flat. That's all I'm saying. I don't care about any of the other stuff. That's what I'm focusing on.
Well, do you understand the principles of it?
Yeah, absolutely. Now I do.
Go on, talk us through it. Which bit of it?
Like you said, the Earth is measured flat in every way you do it. The maps, the positioning systems, everything that you do.
Our argument would start with a specific measurement, though, the elevation angle.
Okay.
So on screen
Yeah,
now,
see, that's what.
for the audience's benefit, I appreciate you're already converted, Rob. For the audience's benefit, what you've got here is what we discussed yesterday, where you're trying to find your position. This was the discussion between Johnny and myself and a few others. And he's saying, well, all you need to describe is the circle of equal altitude. One of these circles that you can see, I know one of them's obscured for the third star, S3, but you can see the 2 front ones. These are circles, i.e. 2-dimensional, flat planes that intersect at a certain point to find your position. And the way you do that, this is celestial navigation, by the way, not a claim I'm making, this is just me detailing the process, is to acquire a horizontal plane of reference to measure the baseline as flat and the angle to the star. So we're going to use S1. So this is the angle measurement. Now, the reason we say that the Earth must be flat to take this measurement is because below the star that you're measuring, S1, is its ground position. And when you measure an elevation angle, your angle measurement will meet the ground position at 90 degrees. That's why there's a little box here. Ergo, it's a prerequisite. You must have a flat Earth to make this measurement. To put a flat circle on the ground for positioning. It can only work this way. And this method of measuring a star in this manner along a flat baseline, the ground position, is the methodology used to measure Polaris to give us our latitude system. Each angle to Polaris as you back away from it, so if you moved back away from Polaris and took the same angle, it would be smaller until it reached the horizon. That is the latitude grid, but each measurement forms this, a circle of equal altitude. A 2-dimensional circle that gets bigger and bigger and bigger as you move away from Polaris on a flat Earth. Now that system is what developed the globe. The flat angle measurements to Polaris. That's an elevation angle measurement. Utilizing and requiring a plane of reference, meaning that when you're dealing with ground positions and navigating the ground, you reference, that is, measure the ground as flat. Earth is, ergo, demonstrably being measured flat when you measure an elevation angle. That's it. I'm done.
Well spoken.
And that's why I'm a flat earther now, man.
Just be prepared to be ridiculed by absolutely everybody you speak to. Like you did.
Oh, so you mean pretty much nothing's gonna change?
Imagine how you treated us since you interacted with us, being how people will now interact with you, And you've got a pretty good idea of how people will treat you now that you understand and appreciate Earth is measured flat. Yes.
They never like me anyways. Neither side likes me, dude.
I think that's a personal thing as opposed to a belief thing. That's fine.
Well, absolutely. The name's
then you'll do well.
for a reason.
Then you've already got a thick skin. Maybe don't worry about it. I would suggest, like I would to anybody, as we've used Dave Weiss as the example, now you become that example. If you're going to bring up the subject, number one, understand the arguments. Number two, move forward by declaring a fact about how Earth is actually measured first. That's it. Then you'll be in good standing for every discussion you ever have on this subject as a flat earther.
Yeah, I don't dislike Dave, but I don't really, espouse to his teachings. I'm more of a Bro Sanchezian. I like Bro Sanchez. I think he's awesome. I think he's got the idea nailed down.
That's nice. I think he's nuts.
He wanted me on his show, and we never managed to peg down a time, so we were in back and forth communication, but he's always broadcasting at some god-awful time in the morning for me, so I could just never seem to get on his show.
I go on his panels all the time, but I used to argue with him about, the other argument, but now when you go on there this time, he's going to shit his pants, or he's going to poop his pants.
Yeah, let me know if I can get a timestamp of you going through to Bro Sanchez and saying, I've been on Nathan Oakley's show, I understand Earth's measured flat now. Call me a flat earther if you like. I'd love to get that as a clip.
I want to hear that.
I would love that.
Oh, yeah, he's going to like that. He's going to like that.
If you're not being disingenuous. Unless you're being disingenuous and this is just some big gotcha. I don't know you well enough.
Yeah, I was going to ask Rob. Rob, I want you to be totally honest with me. Hold on, Rob. I want you to be totally honest with me. Are you serious or are you just playing with us? Because I don't like games.
I'm serious, man. I'm dead serious. Listen, if you guys know me about, I know Nathan doesn't, but I know you do a little bit. Neil and a couple other guys.
No, a bunch of guys. I heard a smile when you said that.
Said what? No, I'm telling you, like, I never believed in the moon landing already. I'm saying, like, I already have questions about other things. Like, I've always been, I'm saying? I just never agree with the shape of the planet. But like I said, there's certain things that just can't be answered. Being level flat, water curving. There's certain things that just make no sense.
Okay, fine.
Upside down people.
Fine. Instead of saying, oh, well, I'm now a convert. I want to be the QE in Atheist Army or whatever you said. Yeah, just give me money. That'll be just as good.
Sounds good. I'll try to send money to you as soon as possible, man. At least once a week.
I was actually going to say, although I added that last second, was just say thanks and get on with your day. If you don't want to debate it, if you just wanted to know what the nature of Earth was, now you do. So you've got a couple of options. Be an evangelist for the subject. Did you want to ever be an evangelist for Ball Earth? It sounds like you were just trying to figure things out. Because if you didn't, why would you now want to be a flat Earth evangelist? Yeah, let the people you've pissed off like Sanchez and me know that you've changed your mind. Good for you. Yeah, it's no big deal to me, no offence, I just don't know you or care. That sounds harsh, I'm sorry, I'm just realistic. But after the fact, right, when you've told Bro Sanchez and hopefully let me know and I've got a clip and I'll be grateful for that, if nothing else, just get on with your life. In other words, unless you want to be an evangelist, you now know it's flat, right? That's it. Job's a good one.
There you go. Now it's up to me what I want to do with it. Like you said, I hear you, man.
On the other hand, if you did want to be a flat earth evangelist,
pretty rational.
Listen to all the arguments. Hold on, just one last point. There was two roads. The other road is be a flat earth evangelist and learn the arguments really well. But when you enter into discussion, don't enter into discussion telling people how the earth isn't a sphere. Tell them how it's measured flat first, so that they know you're serious, so they know you're not a numpty that they can stereotype. If you want to be an evangelist,
I do a lot of the at-home demonstrations and so-called experiments. So like, I definitely do a lot of things that I don't really see a lot of people doing. I actually do hands-on stuff. Saying I live by lakes and stuff. I can do all this measurement. All these observations myself. So
what's to observe?
It's just funny. It's hilarious. It's so much easier to talk to you, and you're not as upset and stuff when I'm not coming at you with the opposing stuff. This is a lot easier, a lot better.
Yeah, right.
This is a lot
All
better.
you did was suggest I went somewhere else, and I still jumped down your throat. What are you talking about?
Well, that was in the beginning. I understand that.
Same show.
Robnoxious, can you give me just a quick synopsis, bro? Like just 2 minutes. Like, let's say I'm a glober, and you want to tell me why the Earth is flat. What are you gonna tell me?
water don't curve around a globe, and I don't think people are upside down. I know those are old ones, but that just, I mean, to me, those are the ones that can't be defeated. It's just it's
So you wouldn't be able to explain
reality.
why it's measured flat and how it's done.
You failed.
Oh yeah, I don't
Get
claim to
out.
be some scientist and math guy. You
That's
know, like I
not
said.
science, bro. Has
Yeah,
nothing to do with science.
Yeah, well, I'm not a
That's it, you
mathematician. I'm not going to try to.
But that's not mathematics either.
See, my plea is to reason. You know what I'm saying?
Damn,
my
bro.
my my, my
I don't
style is
believe you.
pleading to reasoning
I
and
don't
people's
believe you one
common
second.
sense.
Hold
I don't
on,
have to
Mush. Hold
do
on.
that.
Right, just because. Right, when he was here putting globe arguments to us, he had a very low standard. Do you think he's suddenly going to have some super high standard because he's changed his mind about the nature of Earth
Thank
based
you,
on
Oakley.
evidence?
Thank you,
Good
Nathan.
point.
Thank you, Nathan.
Good point.
Yeah, I didn't become Einstein overnight because I became a flat earther, guys. Sorry, you know.
Okay, well, just to take apart what you did say, you were like immediately referencing back how Earth's not a sphere. And I'm suggesting that's the worst way to go about it. It's not your claim anymore. So telling people how it isn't your claim is like telling people you're not a smoker anymore. Just don't smoke, and people will know you're not a smoker, rather than going around saying, I don't smoke anymore. No need. No need to tell people it's not a globe either. They're entitled to their beliefs. If someone challenges
great
you
analogy.
on the subject and you know your stuff, you can undo their arguments. But as I said earlier, if you're going to evangelize about Earth being flat, then do just that. Tell them it's measured flat first. Not out, I know it's not a sphere because people aren't antipodal. Why would you assume in your argument as a flat earther that there's anything to discuss about antipodal positioning? There isn't. She's got that globe blood coursing through you still.
Rob, do you understand where the concept of antipodal comes from?
Yeah, the celestial sphere with an antipodal flat earth sandwiched underneath the northern territories with a polar-centric measurement out to the equator.
Right, 90 degrees to the surface below the pole star. It's still a description of a flat plane. You're just rotating that flat plane 180 degrees to give you that celestial sphere.
Right, you've effectively got two domes. A dome that's south-centric without really having a true position to give you the dome, and you've got a northern dome, which does have a true northern position that doesn't move, Polaris, that you get the latitude from. With those two, if you sandwich the two maps antipodal from one another, you've effectively got two flat plane measuring systems that are, in the model at least, rotatable so that the flat plane can be inverted and then southern rather than northern. Obviously, that doesn't mean that people are antipodal hanging off the bottom of the flat plane, but that is how it's mapped in the celestial sphere. It's just two separate polar-centric positioning systems sandwiched on top of each other antipodally to give you what we fondly describe as the celestial sphere wrapped around both.
Yeah, the example I've seen on recently on the cartoon regarding the flat Earth is instead of the globe on the desk, it's like a coin, and you flip the coin for the north, you flip the coin again for the southern. A flat Earth example.
Okay.
I'm going to put you in the title,
you know
Rob. What do you want to be called in the title? Robnoxious becomes a flat earther?
Nope. It is Flat Earth Robnoxious. As soon as I get on my other account, I'm going to change my name to Flat Earth Robnoxious. And everybody knows that the blue mask now means it's over for the globe. So when you see that blue mask now, I ain't coming for the flat earthers anymore. I'm coming for the globers.
How are you spelling Robnoxious? Robnox what?
IOUS.
Thought so, just wanted to check. Robnoxious converts to FE. Exclamation mark,
Let's do this.
exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Right, I've changed the title, Robnoxious. So if you're bullshitting us,
Nope,
you've
no
made my
bullshit.
title a
Hey,
lie.
I go to Gem Server every day. I'm there all day long, and I'm about to go over there right now and blow their minds.
Wow. Well, what a turn of events.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate your time, Nathan. Sorry.
No need to apologise. It's been an absolute pleasure. But with that, I'm going to say if you're watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering streams, stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, though, if you are watching this live, this is where we bid you farewell. So, another massive thank you to all of you who smashed the super chat, liked, commented, shared, subscribed, joined as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member, hit me up on Ko-Fi, and all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley. Thanks to Discord and G+ Panels for making today's live show possible, and I will see you all in the next video.
on a lovely day.